Today, we're looking at something you brought up that seems simple, but it really opens things up. Why do we stop?
Well,
How technologies, habits, even ways we talk to each other just sort of fade out based on the observations you shared.
Yeah, it's a great question. It really gets into our relationship with technology, doesn't it? How society adapts. And your notes, they give us a fascinating look at not just what we stop doing, but maybe why it matters, and crucially, what happens to the things we seem to leave behind.
Okay, right. So let's start with the clear examples you pointed out. Like, we stopped writing letters. I mean, remember getting actual handwritten mail?
Totally. And then you noted emailing for just casual chats. That kind of faded too. Seems almost old-fashioned now.
It does, and the sources suggest this pattern just continues.
The prediction is maybe texting slows down. Maybe even talking itself changes form. More integrated communication, perhaps. But the really big one, the potentially huge shift mentioned, is driving.
Ah, yeah, that prediction. In 100 years, maybe cars are just obsolete.
Mm-hmm. The idea being people might move back to, like, walkable cities, walkable areas. You just wouldn't need a personal vehicle in the same way. We might just stop.
Okay, but if we stop driving, what about all the stuff? Your sources ask this directly. What happens to literally hundreds of years of cars and vehicles? Junked, recycled.
And that ties directly into that Reset 2046 story you shared. It paints this pretty striking picture. You have these modern towns, these hamlets, but they're surrounded by huge, let's call them dumps or junkyards, the periphery, they call it.
Right, the periphery. And that's where poorer people live, processing the junk.
Exactly. They process it all. But here's the fascinating part, the twist. The rich people from the city, they actually go to the periphery, and they really they buy this discarded stuff.
So the junk becomes treasure. A weird sort of cycle.
A really surprising symbiotic relationship, yeah. Obsolescence feeding a new kind of value, a whole economy from scraps.
That is quite a vision. It connects to something else in your notes, too, a personal thing about music. You mentioned revisiting a guitar piece, writing a string quartet version, and getting feedback that, well, maybe it's not worth writing string quartets anymore.
The feedback was basically, it's just too hard to find people to actually play it these days.
So we stopped playing string quartets, in a way, as a common thing anyway.
It's a perfect example right from your experience, because the live performance might have stopped being practical, but the source also notes you didn't stop creating the music itself.
Ah, right.
You mentioned the MIDI data, the digital blueprint of the music. That can always be used for something else, a spin-off, as you put it.
Okay, I see. So the original form fades, but the essence, or the data, finds a new life.
Precisely. It's a core theme here. Old tech, old items, old practices. They rarely just vanish without a trace. They transform or find niche value.
Like the people in Reset 2046 hunting for, what was it, funky things from 2001.
Like old Sony Mavica cameras, those early digital ones that used floppy disks, or even Van Halen cassettes.
Things you definitely wouldn't use for their original purpose now.
Not at all. But people covet them. They treasure them. And there's that really interesting observation in your notes about these things having a kind of spiritual quality.
Spiritual quality, how so?
Well, it's like it's more than just nostalgia. It's the history, the physical object itself, maybe the story it represents. It connects with us on a deeper level, maybe, so we value it long after it's technically useless.
So we don't stop that. We don't stop valuing the unique, the historical artifact.
Seems that way. That impulse seems pretty enduring.
Okay, so wrapping this up for you, the listener, what's the takeaway here? I think the core idea from your sources is that stopping isn't always an ending. Methods change, technologies become obsolete, sure, but their value, or maybe just parts of them, they stick around. They morph into something new.
It's more transformation than termination, really. Which leaves a final thought, maybe something for you to chew on. What are you stopping now? Or what do you see society starting to stop? And could there be hidden value there, a potential spinoff, that spiritual quality in what seems left behind? Because as we've seen today from your sources, the story often keeps going in unexpected ways.